Okay, I think it's safe to say, you guys know I won't lie to you. You know I love anthology movies. I absolutely love them. I really do. They're my favorite genre of horror because you get all genres in them. But I think it's honestly safe to say that when you shut this movie off, your expression will probably be the same that mine was, and it's just simply, eh. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. Okay, so tonight we're talking about the anthology movie called Bad Candy. I don't know, man. Like, I love anthology films. You know, and most anthology films that I review, the majority of the short films are fantastic, and then you get the odd one or two inside the anthology that aren't that good. Unfortunately, though, this movie's kind of the other way around. You've got a couple really awesome stories in here, and then the rest of them are either just okay or even like bad. You know what I mean? Like, I know a budget is an issue with this movie. You know, you can tell that it didn't have like a massive budget. As a lot of the movies that I talk about don't, okay? But sometimes I think that you get a little overzealous and they try and pull stuff off, and they just can't. And a lot of it's due to budget restraints. You know what I mean? And I don't know, there's some good stories in here. The ideas are there, but it just doesn't play out properly on film, and it is what it is. So this movie takes place in the town of Salem, right? And there's these two DJs, and basically they're more or less telling these stories for the most part. But all the stories in this film kind of play out. There's no real, I guess the DJs are the wraparound story, but all the stories in this movie kind of intertwine into each other at some point throughout this movie, okay? Because it's all stories from the goings on inside this town. Now, there are some good stories, and the one I want to talk about is this. I don't want to spoil it, but it's a vampire story. I mean, it's in the trailer, this vampire, okay? And it's about these ex-military guys, and every year they round up the dregs of society, like the pimps and the crooks and the hookers and everything else, and they bring them all to this field, and they have them all there, almost all nude, and they dump blood on them, and then they let their one friend, who turns in to this vampire, just go at them and eat them and kill them. And like that episode was fantastic. I loved how it was acted. The vampire in that movie, that creature, is fucking killer. I don't know the budget they had for this movie, okay, but I'm gonna say the majority of the budget went into the look of that vampire, because he was phenomenal. He's one of the best looking vampires that I've seen in any vampire movie or creature, you know what I mean? Like, he looked fucking awesome. So I really did, like, the comedy in that one worked well too. They really pulled it off, but there was some other ones where they just dragged on. Like, this movie's an hour and 46 minutes. And really, they probably could have done away with probably one or two of these short films or scenarios in this movie. It may have picked the pace up a little bit, but I mean, you've got stories that, you know, a girl has an abusive father after the death of the mother, and she's got this power to bring creatures out from this alternate realm when she draws them. You've got this guy. This one I didn't really get, but he was giving candy out to some kids, and then he just gets attacked and slaughtered by this Bad Candy. Bad Candy is actually a character. It's this clown creature, and I will say he looked fucking awesome as well. Okay, the makeup and the practical on this demon clown, who is a part of this movie throughout the entirety of it, looks fucking fantastic as well, okay? But he slaughters this guy. There's one, I Love Murder, that takes place in a bathroom. That one was okay. Again, it's one of these movies where it's like they're just okay. It doesn't have that little extra to put it over the top. So, like, a lot of these movies just miss the mark from being great, okay? And again, it all goes back to budget. There's this other one with, like, Sex at the Morgue, which was pretty cool, about this nurse, you know, who has sex with a body in the morgue, and then it comes back to life and kills her and stuff. You've got scenarios like that. I mean, they're all great stories, but again, they didn't really pull a lot of them off. Most of them are close, you know what I mean? But there's a couple stinkers in here as well. But I will say this, okay? The creatures in this movie look friggin' fantastic, okay? And the set and location pieces in this movie are absolutely fantastic. The way this movie is shot is great, okay? Like, I have nothing bad to say about that. The set pieces are awesome. The props are awesome. The locations are killer. The creatures look fucking badass. It's just some of the storytelling, it just doesn't work. And the acting in some of the stories, it just doesn't work. It really doesn't. So unfortunately in this anthology, like I said earlier, you know, in most anthologies I talk about, the majority of them are good and you get a couple stinkers. In this case, the majority of the stories in this one are stinkers, and you've got two fairly decent, especially the vampire one, which is really good stories, and that's it. So is it worth the watch? I would say yes. You know, if you can rent it, if you can find it, I think it's like $3.99 or $4.99. Give it a go. It's kind of like one of those Saturday rainy afternoon movies that there's nothing else to watch. But yeah, if you've seen it, let me know what you think. I'm curious. I know it's getting ripped on IMDb, but it's low budget too. I mean, so you have to be sort of forgiving, but I don't know. I just did a review on Chompy and the Girls, and you know, I raved about that movie, and it was ultra low budget. So, you know, budget restraints, I'm only willing to accept so much. So, but again, this movie looked fantastic, but just the way the stories were brought to the screen didn't work. So, okay, I'm rambling now, but honestly, if you've seen this movie, leave a comment down below. I want to know what segments that you liked and which ones you thought were shit. And if you haven't seen this movie, like, I think it's only like $4 to rent. Like, go rent it, give it a watch if you can make it all the way through. And then come back and let me know what segments you guys liked and which ones you didn't. I am curious to see, you know, if I'm on the mark with this one. I just didn't feel they pulled a lot of the stories off, and I want to know what you guys think. So let me know, guys, down in the comment section below. I am curious. And yeah, as always, guys, stay scared.